right, so you want to dive into Ghost Rider's Christmas Miracle. Let's do it. We're looking at a 1991 comic where the spirit of vengeance, well, he brings a different kind of gift. It's Christmas Eve, and instead of milk and cookies, we've got a kidnapping, graveyard showdown, and a motorcycle ride you won't believe.
You know, it's interesting. This isn't just like a one-off holiday thing. This story really makes you think about, like, who deserves a miracle at Christmas? What does it even mean to be a hero? You know?
Yeah, exactly. So we start with a pretty classic Christmas setup. It's snowy New York City. And this young blind boy, Willie, he's dreaming of Santa, but then things get a little dark when he's kidnapped. Not exactly your typical holiday cheer.
No, it's like the comic's messing with us right away. You've got this sweet, innocent scene, and then bam, ripped away. And Willie's blindness adds this whole other layer to it, right? He's got to use his other senses to deal with this terrifying situation.
Yeah, totally. It's heartbreaking. He gets away from the kidnapper's car and he's running through the snowy park and he's totally lost and scared. He even starts praying to Santa for help. You can just feel his fear.
It's like the comic's setting us up for some kind of miracle. But the question is, what kind of miracle are we going to get? Is Ghost Rider really who we expect to step in?
Right. Because for those who don't know, Ghost Rider isn't really known for spreading Christmas cheer. He's the spirit of vengeance, this skeletal biker engulfed in flames, and he's all about punishing the wicked. Not exactly your typical holiday spirit.
No, not at all. To get this story, you got to understand Ghost Rider. He's basically bonded to this demonic entity, and he's forced to do its bidding. He punishes the guilty by making them feel all the pain they've caused. It's called the penance stare, and it's pretty intense.
So you've got this super terrifying figure who embodies vengeance suddenly thrown into a Christmas story. Can someone like that even be a Christmas hero? What would that even look like?
And that's what makes this so interesting. So Willie, blind and scared, he stumbles into a graveyard while these kidnappers are closing in on him. They're taunting him, saying, Santa doesn't exist, there's only darkness. It's pretty dark stuff.
Yeah, they're like the ultimate Christmas villains. But then, just when all hope seems lost for Willie, he hears something. Heavy boots on the snow, chains jingling.
See, and this is where it gets really clever. Willie, he can't see, right? So he thinks it's Santa. He thinks the chains are sleigh bells. And those heavy boots belong to good old St. Nick.
The irony is amazing. Obviously, we know it's Ghost Rider making his entrance, but Willie has no clue. And who can blame him for wanting to believe in a miracle after all that?
It really makes you think about believing, especially at Christmas, and how sometimes what's real and what we want to be real kind of gets mixed up.
For sure. And can you imagine those kidnappers? They think they've got this kid cornered, and bam, out of the darkness comes this flaming skull on a motorcycle. Talk about a holiday surprise.
This is where the action really starts, and the comic does not hold back. Ghost Rider, he's like a force of nature. He takes down these kidnappers with unbelievable speed and power.
But it's not just brute force. The way he deals with them, it's classic Ghost Rider. He uses the penance stare so they feel all the pain and suffering they inflicted on others.
Yeah, it's harsh, no question.
Yeah.
But it's also like a reminder, actions have consequences, even at Christmas time. There's still a need for justice.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, is Ghost Rider bringing Christmas cheer, or is this just another night on the job for him? Is there even a difference? Okay, so the bad guys are out of the picture, Willie's safe, and now we get to maybe the most unexpected part of this whole thing. Ghost Rider, this creature of fire and vengeance, offers Willie a ride home.
And remember, he still thinks this is Santa. He asks for a ride in the sleigh. He has no idea he's about to hop on a flaming motorcycle.
It's crazy, right? A blind kid holding on to this fiery, skeletal biker thinking he's on some magical Christmas Eve journey. The imagery is incredible.
It's like the comic is smashing together two completely different worlds, the darkness and the supernatural of Ghost Rider, and then the pure innocence of Christmas. And the thing is, Ghost Rider doesn't like ruin it for him. He goes along with it.
I know. That's what gets me. This spirit who usually brings terror and pain is letting this little boy believe he's Santa. It's almost like he's getting into the Christmas spirit himself, even if he doesn't really get it.
It makes you wonder, is he just faking it? Or is there something more going on? Is this like a redemption thing for him?
And it's not just about the ride. Think about what it says about Willie. This kid has been through a terrifying ordeal. He's lost and alone, but he never loses that faith.
Yeah, it's like a reminder that sometimes holding on to belief, even when things are rough, can be its own kind of strength.
Totally. And then we've got the reunion with his parents. Can you imagine their relief? Their son walks through the door, safe and sound, talking about how Santa saved him.
Total clash of perspectives, right? You've got Willie's parents, They represent the adult world, the world where you don't believe in Santa anymore. They see Ghost Rider riding off, and they're like, what just happened?
It's like the comic is saying, as we grow up, we lose that sense of wonder, that ability to believe in the impossible. But Willie's story shows us that maybe there's still a little bit of that magic out there.
It's not just about believing in Santa, though. It's about believing in good even in the darkest places.
Exactly. You've got Ghost Rider, a literal demon, doing this incredibly selfless thing. Makes you wonder, are people even supernatural beings ever really beyond redemption?
Yeah, it really challenges those ideas about good and evil. It shows us that things aren't always black and white. Even someone like Ghost Rider, who is vengeance, can be touched by the spirit of Christmas.
And that brings us to the ending. Ghost Rider rides off into the night. It's powerful stuff, and it makes you think what other unlikely figures or events could embody the Christmas spirit. Maybe it's not about who brings the miracle, but the miracle itself and how it affects those who experience it. It's like this whole story makes you think about how differently we see the world, especially at Christmas time. Willie, with his innocent faith, he sees Santa and Ghost Rider. His parents, though, they're focused on what's real. They just see this scary biker.
It's almost like the comic is telling us there's room for both ways of looking at it, right? The world needs Willie's hope, but it also needs that grounded realism from his parents. And maybe those two views aren't so different after all.
Yeah. Even Willie's parents, even though they're confused, they're still thankful. Their son's safe, and that's what matters. It's like the story's saying, even if we don't always get it, there's still room for the unexpected and a little wonder.
And that's where the real Christmas spirit comes in, don't you think? It's not about actually believing in Santa. It's about keeping that bit of hope, that generosity, that willingness to believe in something bigger.
For sure. And this story shows us that those things can show up in the strangest places. Even a vengeful, fiery spirit like Ghost Rider ends up delivering a Christmas miracle.
It reminds us that we shouldn't underestimate the power of change. Maybe everyone has the potential for good, even if it takes a little Christmas spirit to bring it out.
So what does this mean for you listening right now? Maybe it's a little reminder to hold on to some of that childlike wonder this Christmas. Or maybe it's a challenge to look for the good in unexpected places, see the potential in the people around you.
Or maybe it's just a chance to think about all the different ways hope and generosity can show up. Because that's what this story is really about, right? It's about the surprising ways Christmas can touch us all, no matter who we are or what we believe.
I like that. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope you've got some things to think about and maybe even a little holiday spirit, no matter how unexpected the source.